Jemi zhvendosur këtu në këtë ambient, ne kemi kënaqësinë të bisedojmë me një zë me ndikim në median e krishterë në Bullgari, Stoyko Petkov. Është një drejtues I studios 865, një organizatë që prej fillimeve të saj në fakt ka pasur një mision të qartë të përdorë median moderne për të përhapur mesazhin e ungjillit, edhe për të forcuar komunitetin protestant në Bullgari. Ne do të flasim për rrugëtimin e tij, për sfidat dhe vizionin që e udhëheq në këtë mision mediatik. Shumë faleminderit që jeni këtu me ne. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Na tregoni pak për veten tuaj dhe si nisi shërbesa juaj, pra si nisi ky rrugëtim mediatik.
I was born in a Christian family during the communist time. My grandparents were evangelical Christians, so my parents went to the church too. Some young people think that there were no evangelicals during the communist time, but they were. And in our region here, in Albania, in North Macedonia, in Greece, in today's Turkey, there were missionaries that came in 19th century, and they were evangelical. So I was privileged to be born in a Christian family, and when I was growing in the church, we were looking with my friends for a ministry, what we can do. Media was not an option during the communist time. We didn't have that freedom. So right after the political changes, in 1990, we started with two of my friends to cooperate with Transworld Radio to produce programs in Bulgarian language. So it was January 1990. That was the beginning. And then later in 91, we registered the organization in Bulgaria, and that's how it started.
Si ka qenë rruga e zhvillimit të studios 865, pra që nga fillimi edhe deri sot?
Well, as I said, we started with Transworld Radio, but then we added also evangelical newspaper as our project. It was very brave. It was 30 years ago when we started evangelical newspaper bi-weekly. Once it came in every second Wednesday. Later on, we added also Christian TV program, which we had between 2000 and 2013. And of course, when the internet and new media developed, we concentrate now more on online messages. So our newspaper is also online, and also audio and video, mainly for online distribution.
Si e shikoni rolin e medias së krishterë në një vend si Bullgaria me historinë dhe me sfidat e tij?
Our whole region has a lot of Christian heritage. Bulgaria, Albania, North Macedonia, Greece. Here, apostles and their disciples came, and the first church was established. So there is a lot of heritage, but every generation, every year we have a newborn, new people coming, and they need to hear in their understandable language the good news. And so I will say that there is a need, although historically, traditionally, here we know about Jesus, we know about the Orthodox Christianity, for example, but we need to translate all this to the real life. And that's what we are trying to do with the Christian media, to reach out with the good news, with understandable stories, with understandable message today.
A është e lehtë që të krijosh një përmbajtje të krishterë cilësore në një treg mediatik konkurrues?
No, it's not easy. It's not easy or for secular good quality materials, media content to be prepared. So internet brought all the amateurs also in this media sphere. So there is a lot of noise, and somehow you have to stand out. For non-Christian content, it's easy. You create a scandal and you stand out. But for Christian positive message, secular media is viewing us as a propaganda. And that is one thing that we don't want to do. So telling a story, a testimony, but in a different way, is the best way to reach this society, our neighbors. This is the best way also to go in media. So good professional Christian media is done by professionals who have a Christian message in that.
Zoti Stoyko, keni bashkëpunuar me figura ndërkombëtare si Billy Graham, David Wilkerson, Joyce Meyer. Si ka ndikuar kjo përvojë tek ju edhe sigurisht tek audienca juaj?
When you have a great evangelist, when you have a big organization producing a good quality material, you can learn a lot. So to make this good quality material also available in our own languages, this is a privilege. So working with those great names and with their ministries has taught us a lot about quality, but also to provide these good quality materials for our language. We translate, we either subtitle or dub these materials. So it is not the persona per se, but it is the change that this person or their ministry can have on yourself and in your organization. And I can tell with all these names that you mentioned, they have been very positive impact for us.
Si e matni ndikimin e punës tuaj? E kam fjalën këtu për shembull përmes statistikave apo dëshmive personale të njerëzve?
I will say both. We, of course, follow the statistics. It is important to see if anyone is watching. But what it really brings the value is the personal stories that they may trigger. If somebody writes to us that their lives were changed. Of course, this is not very often. Imagine how often you yourself, you're writing to somebody, my life was changed because of your message. It doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, it's really valuable. So we try to have a dialogue with our audience, and then in this dialogue to learn what kind of impact we have been causing.
A keni një këshill për të dhënë të gjithë atyre të rinjve ose do t'i jepni të brezit të ri të krijuesve mediatik të krishterë?
Well, they have to learn first the foundations. They have to know their roots. They have to know what they believe in. And then, with the tools that their generation requires, with the channels that their generation is watching, to communicate with their peers. So, in these dynamics of changing technology, I think that there will be more new things. Artificial intelligence is now entering, and we can have more possibilities maybe to create, but they shouldn't lose their sense of truth. So in these fake creations of this, a lot of new artificial images and text around us, we shouldn't be drowned in. We should have also the guidance for the factual truth. And what is the truth for us? It comes, of course, as believers from the Bible. And there are basic truths and basic values that we should follow. Doesn't matter how the technology will change and how the channels will change.
Dhe një pyetje e fundit, si e shikoni rolin e medias së krishterë në rajon dhe në botë?
I'm very optimistic about it, because the Holy Spirit is calling young people to share their message with their peers. When we speak about future, usually we speak about young people. They should be the ones that are in the future. But because of technology, they are also in the present. They are creating content. They might be 12, 13, 14 years of age, but they are already able to do things that we in our generation, in my generation, we had to wait until we are 24, 25 to be able professionally to step into some position. So now they can do it much earlier in good enough quality so that they will be interesting, they will be communicating, they will be the ones sharing.
Të falenderoj shumë për këtë intervistë dhe shumë suksese.
Thank you for having me.